Okay. Uh, uh, Enough of the serious ass music. What's up, guys? It's me, the person who you listen to, who you don't really know what their name is. What is my name? I don't think it matters. That's why I never told you guys. Let's just call it the Fake Truth Show, bro. Um, yeah, I just wanted to get into the news for a second here, because well, I just had a free minute. I had a free second. And so I was like, hey,
Yeah, exactly, dog. Exactly, dog. Fake truth.
mm. So, I've always had visions of regularly doing this show, getting up every morning and brewing that coffee and just getting ready for the stream, just preparing myself, getting everything in order, nice and organized before the day starts, and then just jumping on the stream here, Um, but that's just I guess not how life exactly works. The job that I have, the things that I do it's very basically impossible to tell what's going to happen one day to the next. The schedule will change rapidly. Normally I actually would be at work at this very moment, but things changed. Things changed very rapidly as they do, and all of a sudden I had some free time, and I was like, why not? Why not just keep going with it, Do the thing that I talked about doing, and just try to go with it. So, right, this is as with most of my streams. If you're not familiar with the style and the rhythm of them, I mean, well, I'm surprised actually that to have any sort of new people listening, because obviously this stream has been sort of blacklisted and pushed to the corner. So, right, obviously the people that can are already watching it can watch it, but I doubt that this is getting exactly recommended all over the place. So, but that's something I fully understand. That's totally cool. And right, so it's obviously, I'm guessing you are familiar with the style of the show, where I don't really have a huge plan, but sometimes we do get into interesting areas and subjects and ideas, So, what I'm thinking is to first check the articles that I was looking at and saved, and right, and then you can sort of go from there. Now, talking on the show yesterday about black holes and how black holes just seem to be all the fuck everywhere these days. That it really doesn't matter what demographic, if you're an old science nerd, if you're just some it really doesn't matter what walk of life you're in. There's almost 100% chance that you're gonna have been put in front of the concept of the black hole and the meteor, right? And Fortnite itself is no stranger to that. It's something I didn't mention on the black hole show, but it's worth mentioning that Fortnite, this the most popular game of all time, I guess, is sort of gone dark. It's broken right now. The map got swallowed into a giant black hole, and well, nobody exactly knows what's going to happen next. Everybody's guessing that there's going to be, right, this transition to chapter 2, that it's going to be a completely different game after this point, and be a different map and all that kind of stuff, right? And so that's the game will continue. There's no doubt that the game will continue, but this is still interesting to me to see this game where literally millions of people are playing this every day, and they are also staring at a black hole, that they're being familiarized with the concept of a black hole. Even if you're at a very young age, you'll understand the concept of your entire game that you've been playing for possibly years and honing your skills on, that it's been swallowed up by this devouring monster, right? So just an article on the Black Hole Watch here. Now, I thought this was interesting because of the language here in this article. Full moon 2019. How long does a full moon last? I was vaguely under the impression that it was really just the one day. That there was one day where there was a full moon, and that was just that. I mean, I was looking at the moon yesterday actually, and was having this sort of bizarre halo around it. So it was almost like a rainbow effect. It's not something I've seen a lot of pictures of, but it's fascinating always to observe these things in the wild, to go out. And I would encourage all of you to go and just look up at the sky, because it's, your eyeballs are going to get a better image than any even, the highest quality camera is going to be able to pull out. So I was watching the light of this full moon play against the clouds, and regardless of the facts and the truth of what's going on with the moon, if it's a hologram or some soul capturing device or actually just a moon, right? All of those are still on the table for me. Regardless of all that, it's still a beautiful thing, and it's worth just taking a look at it and appreciating. So I will read some of this. I'm assuming you can also read some of this, but I also am a fan of being read to. There's no reason to do too much reading. So they're saying, this weekend, as twilight ends, the brightest planet in the sky will be Jupiter. And Saturn will be there as well. The summer triangle will appear directly overhead, with the bright star Vega to the west-northwest at 76 degrees above the horizon, Deneb to the north at 79 degrees above the horizon, and Altair to the south at 60 degrees above the horizon. Right, but we will not see the other planets. And again, just more of this pyramid moon worship. The moon seems to be something worth worshiping, worth devoting a lot of energy to. And this actually, I think I'm going to have to pull up the full article, because I was noticing something else in this. Hopefully this video will play. Right? Technically, each phase of the moon lasts only a brief instant. However, as full moon can last for a few days to the naked eye, which seems strange to me. I thought it was just the one day. Our celestial orb can in fact appear to remain full for about 3 days. For Wiccans, wait a second. I guess express.co.uk is very familiar with the Wiccan culture. The period of full moon lasts about 3 days before to 3 days after the actual full moon ends. So that's it. For witches, it's an even longer period. Good to know, actually, that special things can happen for that full 6-day period. And what they're talking about, they're renaming it, right? And that's sort of, again, with the distortions and the constant redirects. Where did the hunter's moon name originate? Well, Sunday's full moon is also known as the hunter moon, as well as the travel moon, the dying grass moon, sanguine moon, or the blood moon. So I remember it being called the blood moon the whole time. And I had never actually heard this name, the hunter's moon, but apparently that's something we also need to be familiar/aware of. The hunter's moon. And as I was watching it, it definitely did seem ultra intense, very bright. Sources indicate that the dying grass, sanguine, and blood moon relate to the turning of the leaves and dying back of plants with the start of autumn. Hunter's moon. So that's that sort of overlay to it. But obviously, it seems to me that there's a deeper layer here, that there's an actual sort of worship going on, and right, that it may not just be the random Wiccans hiding in the corners of England that are believing and following these traditions. Because if it really was such a fringe concept, then why would they be talking about it all the time? Is my take on it, personally. My personal take on it. Now, another thing worth knowing about, there's a monster typhoon happening in Japan. Totally just wrecking everything, killing some people. And here's some crazy images of the purple sky. And, right, Strange Sounds is definitely a strange sort of website. They get really fantastical images, but it gets turned a little biased when it comes to these topics, right? They're obviously looking for interesting things to publish, but interesting coordination here with the blood moon that's happening all over the world with this blood red that was happening in Indonesia, right? That's another link, actually. Can we pull this up? Do I dare pull this up? And that was a blood red color that happened in Indonesia, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, which was pretty mind-blowing, right? These things seem very photoshopped, but are indeed, I guess, not. And now we get these purple skies above Japan, and they're saying that these same purple skies were following typhoons and hurricanes in other parts of the world. And that, again, there is an interesting correlation there that, well, things just seem to line up. People died. People got hurt. And I tend to shy away from this political war stuff because, well, I almost don't want to add fuel to the fire. It's so repetitive. It's so obviously, attention drawing and saber rattling. Even when the war actually does eventually start, which it definitely seems like it will at some point, it still feels disingenuous. Still feels like a show. Feels like the longest running show in human history. This whole people fighting each other show. And it's happening. It's definitely ramping up. There's crazy things happening in the Middle East, but right, that's something somebody could have said for the last 20, 30, 40 years at this point, and we don't seem to have really gotten anywhere on that subject. And yes, no, I'm not going to play the actual video, but here is just to be aware of the fact that this mark, this interesting little, what would you call it? It's like an extra long pill or piece of candy or something, that they're going to get this in your hand. They're going to put it in your hand, and it's going to be your phone, it's going to be all your stuff, and it's going to be awesome, because then you won't need to remember all this, the keys and the wallet and the phone. Like, why burden your mind with all that stuff? While you're at it, just go ahead and forget all your passwords, because all your passwords are going to be on the chip as well. I don't see what the downside could possibly be, right? What if you just had everything you needed in your hand? I mean, I'm sick of remembering my passwords personally. I have way too many of them. Sick of the two-step verification, for looking for your phone, typing in the stupid code. That stuff is so annoying, and it would just be better if I could just wave my hand in front. Doesn't that sound like a better idea? Well, it's coming soon to a country near you, but it's apparently already happening here in Sweden, and this isn't just some company. It sounds like it's the actual nationwide sort of test that's happening, right? And I'm sure we'll see some cool news stories soon about how awesome this is and useful, and how happy these people, how their lives have been made better, how they can much more easily navigate this complex digital age with the chip, giving you peace of mind. Because who doesn't want peace of mind? I mean, I know I do. So that's about all it's gonna be, just a quick little little news burst. You know what I mean? News. I mean, leave a comment or don't. Was this interesting to you? Did you get to this part in the video where like it's gonna be over but it's not over yet? Like I appreciate you listening. That's awesome. I appreciate it. See, and this is why I got the outro music, because it's just hard to end this show otherwise. For me personally, gotta have a little exit cue. But I'll be back soon, and I'll catch you on the flip side. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
That's right. Stuff is happening all over the world. You don't know if it's true or just a story. Entertainment, they package as truth. And then the entertainment, that's where they put all the truth. You just gotta see it like flipped upside down. Like the news is just a story, not the actual truth, but highly effective at corralling your thoughts and getting you to think of truth.
Oh, later. Wait, where's the button? I'm looking for the button.